So what you do, I mean, you've although like I in some ways already had a brand before we started working together, you are very good at like I can tell when I go on Instagram almost now, or like an author I know will share a graphic that they've done, or for me you've done the how do you call it, like the Instagram sort of pinned posts that kind of become a banner at the
Yeah, I
top.
kind of call them like a banner, like a website
Banner.
banner.
Yeah. And they look so fabulous. But I can almost tell when I know, like I see a post from an author and I'm like, oh, I reckon Annie works with them. That's it. But I think what you do really well is that you and tell me if I'm wrong here, but you sort of look, you get to know the author, you see what they're already sort of doing and what they've kind of, and then you finesse that brand in sort of like the graphics that you do and all that. So how do you go about like working on someone's brand, basically? Like, what are you thinking? Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Sure. And I think like that's something I kind of came to because I had a little bit of a background in marketing,
Yeah, I
but
was
it was
actually going to
through,
ask what was your experience prior to that?
yeah, that was, in my 20s, I worked in finance and ran teams and did like a lot of marketing type stuff there. So while I wasn't a university trained marketer, I had a lot of corporate exposure to that and did a lot of courses, and that kind of really helped. And in that environment, I was the person that, if you wanted a PowerPoint presentation done, you sent it to me. Like if
Yeah.
you wanted something edited, I was editing it. So, you get known as the writer and the designer in those sorts of environments.
Yeah, yeah.
And you end up kind of getting a lot of free training, I suppose, through that. But when I stepped out into this world and started doing web design and things like that, it became really obvious that very quickly that like trends change, and people like yourself who are prolific writers, you might have covers that no longer suit the covers that you have now. Like it's one of those things where it's really fun actually for me. It's one of my favorite things is to get an author who writes in multiple genres or who've got a really big career and a really big backlog and pull it all together so that they have this visually recognizable brand. You know, the Journal of Advertising and Research did a study in 2018 which said that you had to be seen an average of 10 times by a consumer before they purchased your product.
Yeah.
So my goal is that when I work with you, your visual aesthetics are going to be so clear and speak so clearly to your target audience that when you're interacting with them these 10 times, they're going to see that's a Rachael Johns post, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a number of specific strategies that I use to work out how to
Mind sharing? Or?
and yeah, I can go through that process.